Welcome, Trinidad and Tobago, to a News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Let's take a look at the headlines. Caribbean Airlines expanding its services to include cargo and shipping. Residents of the Taruba village say they are grateful for rehabilitation works. And the Ministry of Energy signs new contracts for oil and gas exploration. In our top story, state-owned airline Caribbean Airlines is continuing to place focus on expanding its range of services from mainly passenger travel to cargo and shipping. This as the airline hosts an interactive booth at the Trinidad and Tobago Manufacturers Association Trade and Investment Convention 2013.
The 14th Annual Trade and Investment Convention is currently being held at the Hyatt Regency Hotel in Port of Spain. The TIC brings together hundreds of manufacturers, service providers, buyers, distributors, financial institutions, investors, and regulatory agencies, all responsible for trade in the Caribbean region. The convention is focused on business networking and trade and includes a trade show, business-to-business matchmaking, a business education program, and multiple networking events. Caribbean Airlines is hosting a booth at TIC 2013, which sees the company placing greater emphasis on highlighting the airline's cargo and jetpack products. The airline has a good track record at the convention, with its booth winning the Best of TIC Booth Award for the past 2 consecutive years. This year, TIC participants have the opportunity to experience several interactive elements featured in Caribbean Airlines' booth, as well as vie for the chance to win a trip to any of the airline's destinations. The booth so far has been frequented by many high-profile visitors, including Senator the Honorable Vasant Barath, Minister in the Ministry of Finance and the Economy, who was presented with a Caribbean Airlines model aircraft. Senior Marketing Manager of the airline, Alicia Cabrera, believes the convention continues to provide an excellent platform for Caribbean Airlines to promote the benefits of air freight. In the fast-paced business environment of today's economy, she explains, it is becoming more and more frequent to see small businesses and manufacturers stepping into the export arena. She adds that as the region's premier carrier, Caribbean Airlines remains committed to providing reliable airlift for the further development of the region's manufacturing and trade industries. TIC 2013 visitors can find Caribbean Airlines at booth number 128 to 129 during the 4-day event, which continues till Saturday, June 15th. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
The Energy Ministry energy giant BHP Billiton signed production sharing contracts (PSC) for oil and gas exploration in 5 deepwater blocks off Trinidad's east-northeast coast. Energy Minister Senator the Honorable Kevin Ramnarine says the signing ceremony comes after much work done by the ministry to change key policies aimed at attracting investment and while remaining competitive in the market.
This country has entered into yet another production-sharing contract with oil and gas giant BHP Billiton for the exploration of 5 deepwater blocks of the northeast coast of Trinidad. Each PSC includes provision for cost recovery and the sharing of production, as BHP has stated its commitment to several financial obligations, including payments for administrative charges, training, research and development contributions, technical expertise, equipment and production bonuses and scholarships. Announcing plans to formalize the agreement, Energy Minister Kevin Ramnarine says the signing signals further economic development in Trinidad and Tobago.
With the execution of these 4 production sharing contracts, BHP, ladies and gentlemen, is committing to a total investment of at least $565 million for the first exploration phase and a further $459 million over the optional phases. This means that the investment that is being signed on here today is worth at least $565 million and at most $1,024 million or close to a little more than $1 billion. The signing today has enormous economic potential. I would venture to say what we are signing here today has the potential to radically reshape the economic landscape of this country in coming years. This signing is a significant achievement for the government and the nation as we seek to increase oil and gas revenues. which is, of course, the main contributor to our economic development.
The signing comes on the heels of 2012's deepwater bids and the recent launch of the onshore bid round in May. It's expected that drilling of 6 deepwater exploration wells will take place with an expected yield of over 4,000 barrels of crude oil.
Preliminary estimates of the combined unrisked natural gas resource potential in these blocks are in the range of 2.4 to 23.6 trillion cubic feet of natural gas, and unrisked crude oil resources are in the range of 428 million to 4,200 million barrels of oil.
BHP Billiton has been operating in Trinidad and Tobago for over a decade in the area of exploration and production, beginning with its first PSC in 1996. Vincent Pereira, area manager in Trinidad and Tobago for BHP Billiton, says the Trinidad and Tobago deepwater blocks TTDAA 5, 6, 28 and 29 are located in water depths ranging from 600 to 1,500 meters in the north and east coast of Trinidad and Tobago.
Today's signing builds on a 17-year relationship between BHP Billiton and Trinidad and Tobago. We will certainly continue working together to deliver energy supplies to fuel the world's global economy in a safe and environmentally responsible way. We are committed to ensuring that the best, most sustainable approaches will be used to explore the uncharted territory of Trinidad and Tobago's deepwater frontier.
Minister Ramnarine adds that attracting foreign companies to its energy sector is as a result of its years of experience in governance of its hydrocarbon resources. He notes the industry is on the way to Extractive Industries Transparency's initiative, EITI compliance, as the ministry recently signed an MOU with all the major upstream companies in Trinidad and Tobago on the principles of EITI. In coming weeks, Minister Ramnarine will take a note to Cabinet for the draft competitive bidding order to give effect to the 2013 deepwater bid round. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
After the break, Taruba residents grateful. Stay with us. Welcome back. Despite the heavy rainfall forecast for the rest of the day and the Met Office services warning of possible flooding, many say recent works completed on roadways and drainages are saving them this year. This as residents of Taruba Village say they are grateful for rehabilitation works which are ongoing at the Taruba Link Road. Now this link road links San Fernando to the Solomon Huchoy Highway.
While bad weather persists island-wide and the Trinidad and Tobago Meteorological Services has issued its bulletin warning of possible flooding as another ITZ passes over, areas traditional to flooding are seeing an ease-up in what would have been high waters in years gone by. The Taruba district for years has seen floodwaters rise up to their homes. Today, the residents say they welcome the improvement works being done to alleviate the problem of flooding.
It used to flood a lot down here, but as you can see, there's a very good development. They widened the road plenty, so cars could maneuver better, the drainage much better, and well, it eased up the traffic congestion a lot, so I think it's an excellent project.
Works on the Taruba Link Road commenced back in 2011 by state agency charged with the responsibility of its construction, PURE, program for upgrading roads efficiency, with phase 1 and 2 open to the public as of recent weeks. However, residents say they would like to see a walkway added onto the new project and an access route that will aid entry into the village.
The project has helped us a lot, and well, we don't know that when the rain comes if we will get any flooding as yet. But what I want to say, all the water from the road, when it came down, it came in the yard, right? So we need the road to fix back. We would like to get a little track to the highway, because remember we foot not good, and we just can't walk from here to go down the road.
It's been kind of hard for the villagers and them to walk out to go at a distance for to get a taxi and things. And for the school children and all too, we really needed something like a little pavement.
The project was beneficial in terms of helping with the flooding, but one negative impact about it is that we have to walk from quite into the development to quite ordinary now. Before it had a little bridge where we could have passed. Now we have no bridge to pass, so it's kind of difficult, especially now when it's raining, where we have to walk quite to get transport.
MP for the area and Labour Minister Errol MacLeod has assured that his office is currently pursuing the instalment of a walkway in the area, while talks with experts at the Ministry of Works for the construction of new access ways into the village are on the cards. He also notes that all concerns raised by the residents were being addressed before the entire project is handed over. The Taruba project entails an embankment stabilization of the soil, reinforced concrete drains with 2 lanes and a roundabout, aimed at addressing perennial flooding in the area, as well as alleviation of bottleneck traffic which occurs during peak drive times. Kimberly Ramkalawan, News 4.
The Ministry of the People and Social Development is just one of the ministries requesting additional funds from the government as they seek to ensure they meet their communities to the people of Trinidad and Tobago without concern.
The government has taken the Finance Supplementary Appropriation Bill 2013 to the Parliament. The object of the bill is to supplement the 2012-2013 budget in the sum of $2,898,091,400 by authorizing the issue of that amount from the Consolidated Fund. Minister of Sport, the Honorable Anil Roberts, in debating the bill, gives a short explanation and just one of the many reasons as to why the government needs more money than what was set out in the last budget.
We're talking about an appropriation. We're talking about the need to get more money to serve the people, to get benefits for the people of Trinidad and Tobago. These ministers of finance have negotiated over 54 settlements, so people have to get back pay from 2008. That is why we need more money.
Some of the larger allocations in the supplementary budget include an additional $661 million for the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, $314 million for the Ministry of Education, $257 million for the Ministry of Local Government, $222 million for the Tobago House of Assembly, an additional $210 million for the Ministry of the People, and $203 million for the Ministry of National Security. Government spokespersons explain the monies will ensure the government is able to safely meet its social and financial obligations to the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Gregory McBurney, News 4.
Trinidad and Tobago has an aging population and plans are being put in place to sensitize the public to the many abuses that the elderly face. This goes hand in hand with the initiatives by the government to empower the elderly and look after their well-being.
Minister of the People and Social Development, Dr. the Honorable Glenn Ramadar Singh, is passionate about raising awareness of elder abuse in Trinidad and Tobago.
Many people feel that it do not exist except when you see a pensioner bludgeoned to death or you see a lady critical in the hospital. Then you realize, well, wait a minute, people are abusing these elders because elders are very silent, they are very tolerant. They take a lot of abuse silently. But we must protect those who are vulnerable. Just as the children, there's a great campaign throughout the world and indeed in Trinidad and Tobago.
The Honorable Minister spoke of a campaign which his ministry will launch in the near future.
We have a launch which we have invited the Honorable Prime Minister and indeed the President of the Republic to join us around the savannah for a walkabout that we shall launch. I think it's within a week's time. And in that walkabout, we will bring together all the stakeholders and NGOs and really create an awareness.
Minister Ramadar Singh gave figures which are testament of Trinidad and Tobago's aging population. He spoke of plans and initiatives that would have to be put in place to deal with this trend.
There are 140,000 persons who are elderly in Trinidad and Tobago, and this is an aging population. 12% of our population is aging. And our estimates show that in 20 years' time, this figure will double. More and more people are living longer and longer because of medicine, medical breakthroughs, and also lifestyle changes. People are recognizing now that drugs and medication is not the only thing to make you better. Surgery, you can effect lifestyle changes that will impact on you living a longer life. And if people are living longer and longer, we have to begin looking more seriously at geriatric care, utilizing the labor market that will be available with people living longer and longer who have much experience, maturity, and know-how.
The minister noted that the government has been utilizing retirees' talents in many areas, which allows them to continue being active and at the same time earn an income. He says all governments are looking at possibly raising the retirement age, but he believes that legislation alone is not the answer, as re-engagement can occur through stakeholder dialogue and even a national discussion. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
Up next, cricket in our sports report. Welcome back. Heartbreak today for the West Indies as they were just 1 wicket away from the semi-final of the ICC Champions Trophy, but instead were ousted from the tournament by South Africa. Correspondent Kern Tyson is in the United Kingdom for the tournament, and he has all the disappointing news.
West Indies fought bravely, but in the end narrowly missed out on an ICC Champions Trophy semi-final spot, as the game between South Africa and the West Indies ended in a dramatic tie at the Swallow Oval earlier today. The game was reduced to 31 overs because of persistent rain, and South Africa reached 230 for 6 of their overs. Colin Ingram top scored with 73, A.B. de Villiers 36, and David Miller 58, Dwayne Bravo taking 2 wickets for the West Indies. In reply, the West Indies fought bravely. Marlon Samuels 48, Chris Gale 36, Devon Smith 30, Kyron Pollard 28. But in the 27th over, when the West Indies reached 190 for 6, and Kyron Pollard was caught by Dale Steyn for 27. Under the Duckworth-Lewis method, the two teams' scores were tied, which meant that South Africa went through on a superior run rate. Heartbreak for the West Indies, but in the end, the South Africans will go through from Group B in second place behind India. Kern Tyson reporting for News 4 Sports.
Thank you, Kern. More news after this. Thank you for staying with us. The Ministry of the People and Social Development continues to deliver in quantity and quality. Minister Ramadar Singh says he is proud of the level of work his ministry has been able to achieve in the past 3 years.
The Ministry of the People and Social Development has remedied thousands of matters affecting members of the public during the last year. Minister Glenn Ramadar Singh says the Direct Impact Program has done a great service to the country, and the number of persons affected by the program continues to increase each year.
We've seen in the last year, that has enabled us to deal with 50,000 persons. When you look at the ministry in 2010, we would have seen 3,010 persons before the partnership came into power. As soon as the partnership came into power, between June to December of 2010, we saw 12,000 persons. That number was to increase in 2011 to 30,000, and in 2012 to 50,000. Certainly with the pace that we are moving, those numbers will continue to increase.
The Honourable Minister says the program goes beyond assisting persons who are victims of social disability. He noted some of the ways in which his ministry has been able to treat with other issues that affect citizens across Trinidad and Tobago.
Not everybody wants social support. We are able to find persons, young people who want to be part of a training opportunity. People want their community centers repaired, recreation grounds, electrification, small business projects. So there's a variety of issues, and also people who are not getting through with particular ministries, whether it be finance or trade and industry. And the People's Ministry has to get in there and to break the bottlenecks and to free up the system, the flow of information, so that people are able to be in the know as to what their cases are.
Minister Ramadar Singh says his ministry is proud to have increased the number of persons who have food support.
Our figures show us that around 120,000 persons are in need of help. 6,000 persons have benefited and graduated from the Rise Up program, which means that 2,000 persons are now in sustainable jobs, constructive jobs, jobs that are substantial in nature, that they have actually given back the food card. The 4,000 others, some remain with the food card, but have graduated in terms of they are finding a job, or they have found some employment where they can now begin to get back on their feet and are qualified as graduates of the Rise Up.
The Ministry of the People and Social Development continues to move into communities throughout Trinidad and Tobago in search of persons who may be in dire need of its offerings. Nikolai Edwards, News 4.
At this time now, we want to highlight a bit of what's happening in the business sector. Our head of news, Larry Lumsden, sat down with Mr. Munilal Lalchan, president of the TNT Chamber of Commerce, for one-on-one discussion. Mr. Lalchan says the Chamber of Commerce provides a lot of opportunities, not only for large businesses, but for the small ones also. Now, you're probably wondering what is the function of the Chamber of Commerce of Trinidad and Tobago. Well, during an interview with Mr. Lalchan, president of the TNT Chamber, he explained that it comprises of a 60% membership core with various micro-enterprises.
Go on our site, look at what we as a chamber have been doing. Get engaged with the chamber, and we provide a lot of opportunities. We have a number of different opportunities. Next week we have a delegation coming from Argentina that is being co-hosted by the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber.
Mr. Lalchan says the delegation coming to Trinidad will not only be looking for opportunities with large businesses on their visit, but will also be looking at small businesses.
And if there is an opportunity and you want to visit some of these companies, feel free to do that. But give us a call at the chamber. We are there to help businesses. Not only large businesses, small businesses. And we have members from as far away as Arima straight down to Point 14. So I've been trying to encapsulate a lot of the smaller businesses and encourage them. And what we are doing also is bringing a lot of the big successful businesses to speak with the smaller businesses and coach them, mentor them into becoming successful entrepreneurs.
And it was time for the people to have their say. And this caller had one suggestion.
Caller, welcome.
Hello, good evening.
Good day to you.
Good evening.
Right. I call it regards to commend the government with the sort of bilateral arrangement that I think will enhance the country's future. But I would like the president there to think a bit on what the big industries here are doing with regards to preparing people for the work sector.
Mr. Lalchan acknowledged the caller's contribution. He adds that the Trinidad and Tobago Chamber of Commerce met with the Minister of Tertiary Education and Skills Training, Fazal Karim, and discussed ways in which young people could get involved in the right type of studies.
The caller is quite right. We need to build the capacity to make sure that we build it in the correct way. And we went back to discussion with the ministry in respect of not only our trade school, but our apprenticeship program. How come some of those apprenticeship programs has gone by the wayside? So we need to start back in developing those type of apprenticeship programs.
And that story brings us to the end of our News 4 report, a product of the Government Information Services Limited and the Ministry of Communications. I'm Joseph Lopez. Thank you for watching.